Well, it's time to close the book of 2025 with our annual tradition, giving my top 7 games for the year. It was a good year for gaming, not as strong as the prior two in my opinion, but still pretty good. The industry got worse, but what can you do, that's life. Plus a few horror games disappointed me, that hurt. But it was a good year and a solid year for Book of Showtime as well. Anyway, here's to 2026 having some bangers. What's up scholars, Moira here and welcome to Book of Showtime Chapter 90. As always, if you enjoy these videos, be sure to leave a like and share with your friends, and if you have a topic you'd like me to cover for Book of Showtime, be sure to leave it in the comment section down below, or anywhere you can reach me on social media or the Book of Showtime Discord. So I know I have a few new faces tuning into the channel. Let me give a quick breakdown of how we do top 7s for games of the year. The 7th spot is for my legacy game of the year. It's the best game I played that didn't come out that year. The 6th spot is for best ongoing game, or as I like to call it, the Fortnite award. Then spots 5 through 1 are all 2025 releases. Sound good? Let's start. At number 7, Uncharted 4. The finale to the Nathan Drake saga was the perfect cherry on top for a really fun series. I decided in 2024 that I would finally sit down and play through the Uncharted games, and while they are great, my criticism still stands. It's all about the characters and the moments and the gameplay. The Uncharted games are kind of like those orange peanut butter crackers you get at the store. Like, it's basic but really good, and you can't just have one, you gotta have a couple more. Uncharted 4, it had some great acting and some really exhilarating explosive moments, and while the length and open levels were a bit of a detraction, this was one of the most satisfying conclusions to a character arc I've ever witnessed. Now let's just wait for Naughty Dog to remaster and remake it about 10 times. Now at number 6, historically it would be my ongoing game of the year, but a lot of the games that are normally in contention for this spot, I didn't play much this year. Fortnite got old on me, which is probably for the best since I saved like $300 on skins. Dead by Daylight is still a frustrating mess, and I haven't touched Rainbow Six since the big X update, which I feel was very poorly handled. I could have put Minecraft here, as I recently got back into the game, but I don't have the scope of improvements as I haven't played Minecraft this hard since high school. Overwatch still stinks and the players are stone munchers, and Rogue Company is legit on life support and to be sunsetted any day now. Any choice here would have felt unfulfilling to me, so I'm going to cheat and put a 2025 release here that I know I'll be playing well into 2026 and beyond: Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. Sonic Cross Worlds, this game is beautiful to see and hear, with vibrant racetracks and a stellar composition that gets bored into your ears. No matter how you feel about the games, Sega will always put out some banger music for whatever they release. The gameplay, this is one of the best racing games I've ever played. It feels so good to play, and while on the surface it's simple, there's a lot of depth to tailoring the perfect car and the perfect gadget card. The lone detraction for me is that you can't customize your racers. You can do a lot of cosmetic for your cars, but there aren't any alternative skins or even palette swaps for any of the characters outside of Sage for some reason, and it kinda sucks. Now on to the top 5. Number 5, Mafia: The Old Country. It was great to see Mafia return to its roots with The Old Country. The story structure is more in line with Mafia 1 and 2 as opposed to the open world nature of 3, and it works much better this way. The story is more intimate and it flows better. Now, it's not going to have the glitz and glam of its predecessors, as this is set back in 1910s Italy, but I think everything worked well for this game, and it even implemented boss fights, which is something you really don't see in a game like this. I wish the ending wasn't so somber, but the Mafia games never have a happy ending. The story is around 10 to 12 hours, and it's pretty good the entire way through. The story and characters are well written, and there's a few cameos of the legacy characters, plus the gameplay is pretty solid, and on top of it all, this was only $50 at launch. That's how it should be for every game that's just an isolated single player experience. Kudos to 2K on doing this. I like doing crimes at affordable prices. Number 4, Tormented Souls 2. You watched me play the demo, but there's no review this time around outside of this little snippet. I think Tormented Souls 2 was a tremendous fundamental survival horror game, but at the same time the natural difficulty of the game's environment is a little out there, and instead of doing a review, I'm going to give you some advice. Use a guide. Some of the puzzles are way too out there, and the fact that it's super easy to get the bad endings, I mean, anyone who's played Tormented Souls 2 knows this. The good ending is something you really have to go out of your way for. Another annoyance, when you backtrack to certain areas later in the game once you have new items, they add new enemies, so it's almost not worth it to go get the items because of the resources you have to burn getting there. The game is still really fun in spite of these detractions. They really grasp the essence of what made Silent Hill and Resident Evil so special back on PlayStation while enhancing it for modern times. Plus, bonus points for having some nudity. Nothing wrong with a bit of titty in a horror game. Now moving on to number 3, Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. A game as over the top as its title. I was worried there was a bit of burnout with this installment as I brought it back in August but finished it in December. The opening is a little slow as you have to go through some exposition and tutorials, but once I got to Hawaii itself and the game really began, I was in there. For starters, this is the freshest a traditional combat style like a Dragon game has felt in a long time, as the over-the-top nature of the story and Majima himself really made it fun to play. The naval combat is really good, by the way, dare I say better than Skull and Bones? I never played it, but I just like to be spiteful where I can. You know, Ubisoft 100% deserves everything that happens to them. But I digress, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this game because what can I say about it that I haven't already said about the other Like a Dragon games? It's pound for pound a great experience with plenty to do, especially post-game, and the pirate gimmick and ship sailing sub-arc, you know, that's really fun. If you're feeling some of the aforementioned burnout, I still think you'll like this as it's one of the better spin-off games they've put out. Number 2, Time Splitters Rewind. Wow, like I'm talking to you guys about a new Time Splitter experience. It's been 20 years. I was shocked when I discovered this game was releasing. The official account on Blue Sky liked one of my posts about Time Splitters, and when I went to go through the profile, I saw that Time Splitters Rewind was dropping in like 2 or 3 days, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, wait a minute, this is like right here. This was something I've been waiting to play since I was a good noodle freshman in high school, and it's finally here, and it's amazing. The game looks and sounds fantastic, and the netcode is pretty solid for the online. Like the original Time Splitters games, TS Rewind is rich with content between the story, the challenges, and the arcade custom and league. There's hours of fun to be had solo or with friends. There was so much radio silence on Rewind, I forgot about it, and because it's a fan project, you know, there's no money to be made, and a lot of the devs, they have lives just like us, but you know what? Dreams never die, and Time Splitters Rewind launched free of charge for anyone. In fact, it crashed the website it was hosted on. It's crazy so many Time Splitters fans exist and they still love the game. It feels like such a niche series. What I really want to commend is how few bugs and glitches I've encountered personally. I've seen some boo-boos in the servers and on Blue Sky, but nothing major that dilutes the experience. I do wish it launched with the Time Splitters 2 story as well, because Time Splitters 1 story is trash, but the fact that we got this Master Chief Collection type game brewing for Time Splitters is just amazing. Before we get to my game of the year, let's see what the community had to say for theirs. Ruby says Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 because it takes everything good about the gameplay and storytelling of the first game and refines it perfectly. Also, being able to actually blacksmith your own weapons as the son of a blacksmith just seemed like a great way to get better stats without making everything more expensive. Additionally, most of the major characters in the game are actual historical figures that did many of the things that happened in game. It's as historically accurate as it can be without being just a documentary. I've seen this game get a lot of praise all over, and I think not for AI 33 it would have won some more awards, and it's kind of on my backlog this year. I'm trying to be better about my backlog, so I'm not going to buy it until I'm absolutely ready to play it, but I will be giving this game a chance. Zeta says for me it's Indiana Jones. Jeez. And the Great Circle, the gameplay and incredible voice acting made it feel like a brand new Jones movie that didn't suck like Crystal Skull. Listen, I will defend Crystal Skull. You know, I thought it was a good movie. I saw it when I was a kid, and I thought it was fine. I never seen any other movies, so some Indiana. I can't say it now. She misspelled it now. I can't. Indiana Jones. All right, Indiana Jones. Listen, Crystal Skull had Cate Blanchett being hot and evil, so listen, can't be that bad. Ben says my game of the year has to be Oblivion Remastered. Its shadow dropped in April, making the return to Cyrodiil feel like an unexpected gift. As my favorite Elder Scrolls game, I was so hyped to play it again. This remaster highlights everything that made it special while enhancing the experience with cleaner visuals and smoother performance. It stays faithful to the original's atmosphere and charm, proving to be an incredible remaster that respects the game's legacy without losing what made it memorable. It was 100% a remake. I don't know why they called it remastered. Now I want to play it again. Shadow drops are the GOAT. I don't care what it is. I'm always excited to see games just randomly be announced and like, hey, you can go play this right now. I was disappointed the Game Awards didn't shadow drop anything, but they didn't have a lot of time with all the egregious shaft polishing of that French AI crap. The Oblivion Remastered, it looked really enticing to play. You know, I didn't care for Skyrim or even Avowed, but I was close to downloading Elder Scrolls 4. Yayan says, we'll have to say Arc Raiders only because it has been the most addictive game for me this year. And yes, that's how it's pronounced. I know, I stayed up all night making sure I pronounced it right. I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid on Arc Raiders, I'm just not gonna do it. I think the social element of the PvP is cool and all, but I'm just not interested in it. I'm going to be focused on single player stuff very heavy in 2026. Lastly, Sithy says, oh, never mind. Finally, my game of the year, Chronos: The New Dawn. This was a risky day one purchase as Bloober Team had a sketchy track history and I didn't know jack about this game besides the fact that it was a sci-fi horror game. But I rolled the dice and man, what a great game. I wrote Bloober Team off, but they ain't right back. Chronos is such a tremendous survival horror experience. The scares and tension are just the right amount and the difficulty of the game encourages exploration and it feels really rewarding combing the various areas for supplies. Chronos was tagged as difficult on Steam, but I didn't think the game was overpowering in any way. In fact, due to my backtracking tendencies, I was pretty strong for the last few hours of the game. In fact, 3 of the 5 deaths I had were intentional because I knew I can play the fight a lot smarter and not burn too many resources. I know that's a little silly to do, but I take my survival horror game serious. The gameplay loop was fantastic, with the gimmick being not to let the enemies merge together, otherwise you have to deal with a much stronger variant and you can prevent that by blowing them up or burning them. As for the landscape, New Dawn takes place between 2 timelines, one during the apocalypse and one long after, and the eeriness of it all, it's just shrouded in so much mystery. It's like the land itself is telling a lot of the story. I mentioned back in chapter 69 that the landscape in an apocalypse setting is important, and Bloober Team did a tremendous job showcasing the effects of the change in a retro Poland. As for the story, it was fantastically gripping, although you can guess the twist a little earlier than I would have liked. But again, the mystery of the characters, the change, the vocation, the traveler, it's all so engrossing. Plus, the traveler has such a great voice. The speech patterns and the cadence, it's very soothing to hear. And I like that she's really nice to cats and cats only. That's so funny to me. The only gripe I had with Chronos was the lack of an easy mode. While the game was a healthy challenge early on, I imagine some people would struggle if they're not as accurate in fights or thorough when looking for supplies. Plus, the lack of a map and limited inventory space really reared its head in later game sections, but they are adding an easy mode in a future update. I wanted to talk about this game back during the October selects, but I knew it was my game of the year and I will be speaking about it again soon. If you like Dead Space, I think you'll love Chronos, and I think this does a better job of being a successor to Dead Space than Callisto Protocol. If you can, pick this game up as soon as possible. You'll be treating yourself to one of the best survival horror games of the decade. Alright scholars, thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know down below what your Game of the Year award is. Inshallah, I'll see you in the next chapter.